Good evening, everyone. Let me just share my screen. Today's session, it was called Career Building, but I thought calling it Career Conversations would be a better idea because this is all about how we can have conversations about career with our children. Good evening, everyone. My name is Nitya. I'm a career counselor. I have more than 4 years of experience and I have counseled more than 100 students in these 4 years. Currently, I am working with New Horizon International School in Bangalore, where I'm also a Cambridge trained business studies educator. Shall we start on a positive note as always? Can you say about some good thing that happened today? I'm going to stop sharing. If it's difficult for you to come online and talk, it's okay if you can even type in the chat. Uh, just a moment, I'm so sorry. You can even type in the chat box. So I'm okay with that as well. Some good thing that happened today. Anyone? If you want to unmute yourself and speak, you can unmute or you can even type in the chat box about any one good thing that happened today. Nobody had a good day? I had my favorite dessert. Oh yeah, I love sweets. I love desserts. That is a very good thing. Yes.
Ma'am, I got my free copy of reference book from the publisher.
Awesome. Congratulations. Very nice.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, let's move on. But before that, let me just share the agenda with you. Today we'll be talking about what is a career conversation, when is it the right time to have a career conversation with students or children. I'm sure many of us are parents also over here, so it holds good for your own children as well. We'll see what kind of activities children are supposed to be doing in order to build a good career, how the social support, social circle can support the children, and what the school can do as a partner, and what are the ideal timelines for children to start planning their career. Okay, but before we go ahead, I want to know from you. All of us are teachers here. If you had not become a teacher, what did you want to become? Again, either you can unmute yourselves or you can type in the chat box. What was your other career plans? Or when you were young, you must have thought, when I grow big, this is what I want to become. Did you have other career ideas in your mind? All of us wanted to be teachers? That's nice. Okay. So let's say all of us wanted to be teachers, and we're all doing a mighty good job of educating our children. Right. So, what are the factors that affect career choices? One is the interest. What kind of interests the children have? What kind of skills they have? What aptitudes they have? What kind of interpersonal skills or people skills they have? What is the kind of experience they have? What are the family traditions, personality, life goals, and work values. So when you say interests, for example, a child might be interested. They might say, I want to be a scientist, I want to be a doctor, I want to be an engineer. They're interested in that. They may or may not know what is involved in becoming or pursuing that particular career. What are the skills they have? Some children might be very good in sports. So they might see their favorite sports star, Virat Kohli or Leander Pace or Rafael Nadal or anyone, and say, I want to be a sports person. I want to be a tennis player. I want to be a cricketer. Their aptitudes, what they are strong, and some of them will have very good maths knowledge. Some of them might be very good in arguing or in debating. Interpersonal skills. Some of them might be very good at interpersonal skills. They will know how to just strike a conversation with anyone. But some of them might be a little reserved. They would tend to observe people a lot. Experience. When I say experience, the child might not have experience in that field, but they might have come across people who are in that field, and that also might interest their career choices. They might have someone in the family who is a doctor, or someone who is in the army. They say, okay, my uncle or my father is in the army, so I also want to join the army. Or they might see anybody else, maybe the father's friend is in some big position, maybe he's a rocket scientist at ISRO, so he also wants to pursue that. So life experiences. I remember I once asked some students about what they want to do. So one child said, ma'am, I want to become an oncologist. I said, wow, it was a seventh grader child who said this. I said, for a seventh grader, knowing what an oncologist itself is a big thing. What is an oncologist? So the child said, ma'am, oncologist is a doctor who treats cancer. I was very impressed. I said, wow, excellent. But why? I mean, people normally in sixth, seventh grade, they say, I want to be a doctor. Why specifically oncologist? And the child said, ma'am, my grandmother died of cancer. There are many people in my family who have cancer. It is genetic. So I want to study this further so I know how to help people, not just my family members, but people around me. I want to study this disease further and see how we can prevent it. So that is a kind of experience children see, children hear, children observe. They even mimic what we do. So experience also plays an important role in affecting career choices. Family traditions, business, family business. My grandfather owned this family business. My father owned it. I will take over from my father. Or my grandfather was in the army. My father is in the army. I'm also going to join the army. So they even family traditions affects career choices. Their personality, what kind of personality they have. Are they outgoing? Are they introverts? Do they like to play outdoors, or do they prefer sitting at their desk and working? That also matters a lot. And then comes their life goals and work values. What do they want out of their career? Do they want money? Do they want power? Do they want a lot of freedom? Do they want to manage people? And what do they value in life? Do they value honesty? Do they value power? Do they value their principles? All this also matters a lot in deciding a career for a child. Okay, this is called a career decision making model. Earlier, we introspect on where we are currently, who we are. I mean, when you talk to a child, the biggest question is, who are you? They would not know how to answer this. They will be curious about careers. There'll be other factors also, like we just discussed. There are other factors also influencing. They are not able to make an informed career choice. But once they have explored careers, they will realize that there are so many opportunities. They will have just a moment, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And what they feel or think about the choices that they would like to make. Which is why talking to children about career early is very important, so they make a very informed decision. So now, what is a career conversation? A career conversation is any formal or informal or a dinner table talk or a research or an opportunity that you do with the children. It adds to the children's understanding of career options or their strengths, their weaknesses, their preference, their priorities, what they think about it, their perception, etc. And once you have a career conversation, it takes them closer, one step closer at least, to a career related decision. So instead of blindly following what others are doing, my friend wants to write his JEE, I am also writing JEE. My father is a chartered accountant, I also want to become a chartered accountant. If you have a conversation and ask the child, okay, you want to do this, why do you want to do this? Do you think you have the skills? Help them explore, introspect, help them understand what this career requires and what are they supposed to do in order to pursue this particular career. So that takes them closer to a career related decision in the right way. How should we have a career conversation? This goes for teachers as well as for parents. First is when the child and we are both relaxed. It should never be forced. When we are relaxed, as a class teacher also, you can maybe someday you might not be in the mood to take a class, or maybe you have a little bit of huddle time with your children. So you can just casually ask children, have you all decided what you want to do? And ask them to raise hands and answer. Both of you are relaxed. The children are also in a lighter mood. You are also in a lighter mood. So as a class teacher, also it's our responsibility to guide our children the right way. As parents also, when we are relaxed, when we are having dinner, when we are playing outside, going for a long drive, that is the best time to have a career conversation, because a child is able to then answer freely. If you force them to answer, either they'll be under a lot of pressure or they'll think, oh, should I actually decide on a career right now? Start conversations with general questions. Do not ask yes or no questions, ask casual questions. Have you thought about what you want to be? I mean, I was just thinking, I was reading an article about this career. What do you think about it? Start off with a little bit of curiosity rather than an interrogation. Explore ideas without putting any pressure. Don't pressurize the child. Give them an opportunity to explore. Explore their interests. See what they're interested in. Why they're interested in that particular thing. And also encourage any activity that promotes and develops skills. Now, as a school, every school has extracurricular activities. So when you speak to a child, when you get to know their interest, when you get, as a class teacher, we will know our children better, right? Or maybe you've been teaching in the school for a long time and you know the child better than anybody else. We all have our favorite students, so we know about that child also better. So we should encourage, we should give them suggestions for any activities in the school that will promote and develop skills. Maybe there's a chess activity. If child is very good in chess, you could always have clubs or extracurricular activities. The child could play chess, send them for tournaments or any other sports, or a mun club, debate club. That will help them develop their skills. When is the best time to talk about careers? As I said, one is either as parents over dinner table we can talk, or in school also, if you are allowed to have lunch along with your children in the classroom or the cafeteria, that will be also a good time to have a good career conversation with the children. While watching TV at home, you might be watching some documentary. Start talking about that and ask your children, what do you think of this? What do you think is this career about? Maybe you're watching National Geographic. You're watching about maybe Kenya or the Masai Mara Reserve, and there's a photographer. You can ask, you see that guy who's taking the video? What do you think he is? What do you think he must have studied? How do you think he got this interest? Just have casual conversations. And believe it or not, children like to teach us. So when we exhibit curiosity, they also get that excitement to talk about what they know. Also a good place or time to talk about careers. Like I said, speak about a character's profession and see if it matches with reality. If you're watching a movie, for example, and let's say you're watching something like War or War 2, and the defense officers there are fighting. Do you think they actually do this? Do you think this is how it happens in real life? You'll be surprised how much children know. They'll tell us more than what we know, because they do a lot of exploration in the car or in the bus. If you're traveling with children in the bus, if you have a good rapport with the children, you can have a conversation in the bus also with them. while playing a sport or indoor game, or when if you're a parent, when your children have friends, all of you can talk to their friends, build rapport with them also, and ask them, what are you kids planning to do? Have you thought about it? Time frame. When is the right time to have a career conversation? Can anyone tell me? If you don't want to unmute yourselves, you can type it in the chat, or you can unmute yourselves and talk. When do you think is the right time for a child to decide a career or to have this conversation with the child? Anyone? What do you feel? As a teacher or as a parent, either ways, when is it the right time to have a conversation with the child? Is it in the ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th, after 12th? When is it the right time? Okay, I'll give you the answer. Ideally, by the time they're in the eighth. But there's no hard and fast rule that you should start a conversation by the time they're in the eighth grade. Starting earlier will always help in more clarity and better decision making. How do we explore activities? You can help them explore different streams. In the eighth grade, you can say, do you know after 10th what you want to take, what subjects you want to take? Some children will know that there are three different streams: science, commerce, and arts, or humanities. Talk to them about what are the different subjects offered in each of them. If your school has 11th and 12th, you can talk to them about the different subjects that are offered for each of the streams. Let them explore, encourage them to read. Maybe if you know of some book that will help them. Like, for example, some of my children, they wanted to become entrepreneurs, they wanted to have their own startups. I told them to read books like Be Your Own Boss, Psychology of Money, or Chanakya Niti. So encourage them to read a lot. Maybe you can even tell the librarian to give them books accordingly, according to their interests or what you think would benefit for them. Ask them to shadow professionals. This is not necessarily an internship, but if, for example, they want to become a chartered accountant and somebody in the family is a chartered accountant, you can tell them, why don't you go to their office, see what kind of work they do, stay with them morning tea, maybe on a Saturday or something, if the office permits, or if somebody they know is working from home or is a freelancer, they can shadow them and see what is a typical day in that career like. What do they do? What kind of people they talk to? How do they talk? What kind of documents they're supposed to have? What kind of knowledge they're supposed to have? What kind of expertise they're supposed to have? So encourage them to shadow professionals. There are many internships, both virtual internships as well as physical internships. So you can ask children to do virtual internship, which is internships online. So there are companies who offer this. There are institutes which offer this, where they'll be given some assignment or task. They need to finish that task, so they will get a feel of what it is like to work in that particular profession, and then they can decide whether they're liking it or not. Because it is more important that they decide, more than knowing what to do. They should know what they don't want to do, because we don't want our children to make the wrong choice and end up in a career which is either not good for them, or maybe they realize much later, oh, this career was not good for me, but by then they have wasted precious years and time and money, right, doing the thing that they're in future not interested in. So internships will give them a little bit of feel on what it is like to work in that particular field, and then they can know if this is their cup of tea or not. Projects in class, we all have AIP and MDP. When they create something which is aligned to their interests, that will also give them a sense of knowledge or experience in what, say, for example, science. If somebody wants to become a scientist or somebody wants to become an astrophysicist or something, probably could suggest some activities they can do in that field if the school permits. If not, during the summer holidays, you can always give them some projects. They can, I mean, give it as a choice. If the school does not enforce it, you can always give it as a choice. Why don't you try this? Why don't you try building something like this? I think I don't know if I've shared it with this group, but there was one student of mine who wanted to do something related to environment management. So I told him, during summer holidays, why don't you try? They were building a new house. So I told him, why don't you try something in your new house? Why don't you start a terrace garden and see how you can recycle water in your house? Or set up a drip irrigation method. That is very easy. You'll find a very easy drip irrigation method on YouTube with plastic bottles which you can recycle. You get drip irrigation tools on Amazon for very less price. Why didn't you do that? This was about 3 years ago, and now his mother spoke to me the other day. They have a beautiful terrace garden. They have a vegetable garden, a herb garden, all done by this boy with recycled water, drip irrigation, and he's experimenting. He's starting hydroponics also now, so he's experimenting on all that. So now he's so interested and so into it, and he wants to take up environmental management in his college. So give them some ideas. So ask them to explore some projects, some DIY projects they can do. You can even have something like a Shark Tank in your school where you can ask children to come up with ideas and pitch their ideas and see and have a panel of judges and see if let them get feedback from people who are experienced in this field and see whether it works out or not. So they also get a lot of ideas. They get to network when you call people from other areas of expertise into your school. Ask those people to give talks. So all this will give children better ideas on how to choose their career. Social circle. What is a social circle? People that are children, people that are around our children, right? It could be friends, parents, relatives, friends of parents, friends of relatives, teachers, seniors, juniors. All this forms our social circle, right? So, what kind of influence does this social circle have? The child, the family, acquaintances, community helpers, strangers also. How can social circle help? One, ask your students to speak to other teachers, parents, guardians. Ask them to ask a lot of careers about upcoming careers in various domains. Now, the biggest fear everybody has is AI. Will AI take away our jobs? Will we get jobs because of AI? Ask them to speak to people or get someone from this field to your school, an expert maybe, and ask them to give a talk, conduct a workshop for children. Ask them to speak to other teachers. If someone is interested in science, ask them to speak to the science teacher. If someone wants to get into some field in maths, ask them to speak to the maths teacher. You know, give them the guidance to speak to the right people. Parents also, if you know some of the child's parent is in a field, say for example, child A studying in, say for example, 8B wants to become a pilot, and maybe some child's father who's in 10A or something is already a pilot. You can ask this, put this guy in touch with that parent and ask him to ask for tips or what they studied, what their real life experience, what did they do, how was the experience, what is it like to work as a pilot, etc. So that will also give them a lot. So this way the parent also feels, oh, this is my son's friend. He's studying the same school as my son or daughter. So they will also have that personal interest. They'll also be all the more interested to help them out. That personal touch will also be there. Try and understand the skills they make use of in their respective so when they speak to these people, they will know what skills are required. So for a pilot, what are the skills that are required? They need to be able to think quickly on their feet. They need critical thinking, reasoning. They need to have good vision. They should be physically fit. All this, many children might not know what exams are they supposed to give for this, what kind of training do they do, how long, what is the duration, where should they go, gain experience from how elders decide on their options and the journey they took. So they will tell what went wrong, what challenges they had, how they overcame their challenges. So all these are very healthy conversations they can have with children. They can also, like I said, shadow parents or relatives or cousins to know about a day in their profession. Now let's talk about career pathway. What how should they decide, or at what grade, what should they be doing? Grade 6, I would like to call it Pathfinder, where they will explore their interests and hobbies. So here, if you're talking to a grade 6 student, talk to them about their hobbies. What are their hobbies? What are their interests? So one activity I like to do with 6th graders is create a skill or career inventory. So I ask them to draw a tree. Each branch is a skill that they have or an interest that they have. And every leaf is the careers that use that skill. For example, if a branch is labeled as communication skill, what are the careers that use communication skill? Almost everything. Lawyers, journalists, managers, entrepreneurs, salespeople, marketing people. Almost every career uses communication skills. That's an easy one. Start off very easy. Next, let's
Telephone
talk.
operator also.
Yes, yes. So start off as a warm-up activity. Start off with easy skills. Next, let's talk about debating skills. Who is a good debater? Lawyer, maybe they would say. Okay. Next, let's talk about numerical skills. Who uses lots of numbers? Chartered accountant, mathematician, statistician. So like that, give them few examples and let them maybe give it to them as a home assignment also if possible. They can go home, research and come back with this activity and they can compare. So some careers, maybe one child has 4 or 5 careers. Some children will have some other careers. They can cross check with each of them and they'll get more and more ideas. So grade 6, let them explore their interests and hobbies. So they'll also get ideas of more interests and hobbies they can pursue. Grade 7, now they have to map their skills in, like I said, that in grade 6, let them start off the skills inventory. As they go to grade 7, you can go more in depth, give them more challenging careers, more challenging skills to talk about, and ask them to start building their profile. Now, why building profile is important? Because nowadays, most of our children are scoring above 90. Any good college, they are asking cutoff is above 90. Even for commerce, I think 75 or 80% is the cutoff in good colleges, right? Now, if say two children are getting the same amount, same marks, both of them are getting 92%, but that college has only one seat left. Which child will they give it to? Both of them want 92%. So how will the college decide whom to give the seat to? Let's say, for example, they're going into fine arts, for example. They want to get into design. Who will they give it to? A child who has only grades or a child who has exhibited some talent in or some way to show their talent in fine arts or in design. Either they have created something or they're good in art or they have done some project related to design. So who will the college give more weightage to? The person who has exhibited their skills rather than someone who's got only marks. So ask them. Now again, why grade 7? Because by the time they're in their 10th, they'll be busy preparing for their board exams. They will not get time for profile building. 11th, they might have a little relaxation, but again, 11th, they are busy thinking about what entrance exams they should give after 12th, what courses to apply for, and all that. 12th, again, board year, entrance exam year, they will not get time. So 7, 8, 9, these three are very precious years for them to start building their profile. I'll also talk about profile building, what kind of profiles they can build or how they can build. Now in grade 8, now they will have to start focusing on career exploration. They'll have to start thinking about what are their strengths, what are their priorities. They have to start thinking about stream selection because some boards in ninth itself, they'll have streams or subject selection. For example, in IGCSE, from ninth, you can choose your subjects that you want. And again, they have to focus more on profile building also. Grade 9, ask them to do a SWOT analysis. Do we all know what a SWOT analysis is? Do you know what a SWOT analysis is? If anybody knows, please raise your hand or type it in the chat or unmute yourself. Have you all done a SWOT analysis of yourselves? Okay, SWOT analysis is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. SWOT. Okay. I would strongly recommend after the session, maybe you can take a sheet of paper and do it for yourselves. List down strengths. Ask the children also to list down their strengths. Ask them to list down their weaknesses. And along with that, if they know of any way how to overcome these weaknesses. If not, they can always speak to their parents or the counselor. What are the opportunities they have in case somebody wants to go abroad, they want to study further? What opportunities do they have? Maybe the school has a career counselor, their parents know somebody abroad, or they are affluent enough, or they know what kind of financial aid or scholarship is required. These are opportunities or the kind of support system they have. Next comes threats. Threats are what is stopping them from getting what they want. their challenges primarily. What is stopping them from getting what they want? So this can be for career, for life goals, for anything. SWOT analysis can be done. It gives a lot more clarity. Now, again, coming to strengths and weaknesses, they can see how they can use their strengths to overcome the weakness, how to change the weakness into their strengths. Encourages, do this as a class activity sometime for them with them. Ask them to start building their CV or their resume. A simple, I know at this point in time, they won't be anything much, but they can always list down uh, their personal profile, their name, their date of birth, and where they're from, the languages they know, what are their achievements, any awards they have won, what are their hobbies, any projects that they have done. All this can be listed on the CV. So encourage them to make a rough, start working on a rough draft of their CV, which every year they will keep fine tuning, because every year they will achieve something. They will add on to some skills. Maybe they learned a new programming language, or maybe they learned a new skill. They can keep adding to the CV. But in grade 9, ask them to start working on a rough draft of their CV, because this will also help in internships later. And again, they can focus on their profile building a lot, because from grade 10, they won't get much time for profile building. Next comes refinement. In grade 10, they have to start finalizing their streams with the electives, because in grade choosing. And they also have to start looking for college and country options. Why they have to start looking for country options in colleges? Because if a child wants to go abroad after 12th, some colleges they might say that if they want to pick up some particular course, some colleges, some countries will say maths is mandatory. Some places will say maths is not mandatory. So accordingly, they have to pick their electives in 11th. So you can start shortlisting, if not finalizing, at least shortlisting countries, colleges. Even within India, if they want different colleges, they have to see what is it that they're looking for. Do they want to go for commerce with maths, commerce without maths? Do they want to go for PCB, or do they want to go for PCM? They'll have to start thinking of all that in their 10th. Grade 11, they'll have to start preparing for their entrance exams. They'll have to start knowing what entrance exams they'll be giving next year. Ask them to fine tune their CV again. And if they're going abroad, let them start practicing essays and statement of purposes. Grade 12, now they'll have to start shortlisting colleges. Maybe in grade 10, they would have they would have shortlisted some 15 or 20 colleges. They should bring that down to 10 colleges. They have to start preparing for entrance exams, depending on what course they want to give. So they should be well aware of what are the entrance exams that's required for each course. They have to start taking mock tests. And so now grade 12 is extremely important, because along with board, they are preparing for entrance exams also. So grade 12 is a very crucial period for children. And we as teachers and parents, this is the time we should be more supportive than in 10th. 12th is where they need more guidance and more support. I know many parents come back to me and say, let them finish 12th, ma'am, then we'll decide. Yes, we used to do it like that. But I think now, in today's age, in today's time, it is not enough for us to start seeing after 12th board exam. Let me see what marks my child gets, then we'll decide on the college and all that. I think it'll be too late. Because if, like I said, if some college requires any particular subject to be taken or any particular skill, they should start developing it right from when they're in 10th. And they should also start applying for colleges. Some colleges, I know they will have a deadline. They will release their application forms only after the entrance exams or after the board exams. But at least let them start seeing how to apply. What are the documents required? You can always call any college admission officer and ask them beforehand itself what is required, what is eligibility criteria, what is the cutoff, etc. What can the school do to support these children? One, every school has to have a career counselor where they conduct either group sessions or one-on-one or both. Actually, both is ideal. Address the class as a whole and then talk to each child one-on-one. They conduct psychometric tests also to understand the child's interests better. And they can have one-on-one counseling sessions with students as well as with parents. They should also conduct workshops for parents, so parents are also aware. Even in today's day and time, there are parents who feel that engineering and medicine are the best careers to have. Humanities or arts are not good. So parents also have to be psychoeducated on how different streams, different subjects play their own crucial role. Extracurricular activities. The school should support by providing. Okay, so here there are two kinds of activities I would like to bring to your notice. One is extracurricular activities and one is co-curricular activities. Extracurricular activities is anything that is a non-academic activity. It could be sports, it could be music, it could be dance, drama, theater, speech, anything. Co-curricular activities are those activities which support a child in their career decision. Okay, so the school should think about how extracurricular activities can be turned into co-curricular activities also for students. Holistic education. Now, only textbook learning is, even CBSE has said that children have to learn. Rote learning is discouraged now. They need to know how to apply this knowledge. So, giving them holistic education in all ways, skill building. Some schools also have spiritual education. They have Bhagavad Gita classes, yoga, or they have gymnastics, physical education, skill building activities, plus academics. Everything goes hand in hand. Okay, so to just summarize what I have said so far, career conversation is an ongoing activity. You just don't have one conversation with them and stop with it. It's ongoing. So once you build that kind of rapport with the child, they will keep coming back to you. There are many many competitive exams like the Olympiads that they can give, or the National Finance Olympiad that's come, or any other. They can go for one debate clubs, etc. Keep talking to them about it. Tell them, if you know a child is good at something, find out activities for the child. Just go a little extra for the child and see how you can help them. So they will come back. They will be excited to share their ideas with you. Have discussions with them on and off, during short breaks, during lunch breaks. Have conversations with them. Build that kind of rapport so that you can be not just their teacher but also their guide and mentor. Career conversation does not have a deadline. There's no hard and fast rule that by 8th grade you must have finished all these checkpoints, or you must have shortlisted your streams. By 10th, you should have shortlisted colleges. There's no hard and fast rule. It is just a general guideline that if you do this, it is good. You will be having a good clarity on what kind of career to pursue, or what colleges, or what kind of courses you need to take. So what I normally tell the children is work backwards. Think about the careers you want to do. Some children say, ma'am, I don't know what career I want to do. So in that case, I ask them to do something called a skill mapping. I ask them to list down all their skills. And for each skill, I say, go on Google, go to ChatGPT, it's okay. Find out at least three careers, just three careers which uses those skills. And see if now Google or ChatGPT might give you some 15, 20 careers for each skill. Out of that, just see three careers which are of interest to you. And just write that down again, each skill that you have, and then explore more on those careers and see, and keep striking off whatever you're losing interest in. Finally, you'll come down to 4 or 5 careers that you're interested in. Okay, so there's no hard and fast deadline. Even in 10th, even in 11th, even in 12th, children are confused sometimes. So this is a good way for them to get started. Psychometric tests are another brilliant way for them to get more clarity. Now, if skill mapping, they can't do it manually, a psychometric test will always help, because the psychometric test will analyze a child completely. It gives them their skills, their interest levels, what kind of careers can they map to their skills, and what kind of skills should they need if they want to pursue some particular career. All this will be given to them. So that will make decision making a lot more easier for both students, for teachers, and for parents. Talk to parents. Parent teacher meeting, just don't talk about their marks. Talk to this parent about the child's interest, about the child's hobbies, the skills, and talk to them about how they can build profiles for the children. Encourage the parents to take the children to office so that they can see what they're doing, how they're doing. Encourage them to have these career conversations with the children. And like I said, have workshops for the parents as well. There's an ideal time frame. Again, no hard and fast rule. 6th grade, talk to them about hobbies. Talk to parents also about the hobbies. Tell parents to start. Now, some parents, we've noticed that they want to put the child into every class possible. That's an utter waste of their time and energy. So ask them to identify just 1 or 2 classes that the child will be good at and pursue a hobby in that. A child might be good in drawing, let them pursue that as a hobby. A child might be good in crochet, let them pursue that as a hobby. So let them start exploring their hobbies in their 6th graders itself. And just suggest this to parents. Again, there's no hard and fast rule. it's never too early to start. You can have these conversations with very young children also, as young as second grade, third grade. I'm sure very young children, you ask even a nursery kid, what do you want to do when you grow up? They'll have something to say, something. I remember my child when she was in her second grade, I asked her, what do you want to be? And she said, Mama, I want to be the Statue of Liberty. So, they can come up with really creative things. You can store these as memories also. You'll be amused at what they can come up with. It's never too early. So you can amuse them, just play along. And I used to say, to become Statue of Liberty, what do you need to have? She said I should have a lot of patience because I should keep standing like this. So, children, you'll be amazed at what is running on in their head. It's really nice to sit and have a conversation with children. They know, trust me, they know a lot more than we do. They will stump you at times. Right. So with this, we come to an end of the session. Before we go to Q&A, I would like to see if I was clear enough or if I can learn anything from you. If you could just list three things that you learned today and two things you found interesting and one question you still have from today. Again, if you're not comfortable unmuting yourself, let's please move on to the chat box and you can. Yeah, I think I'm already getting questions. Yeah. Thank you. Ashna says excellent. Thank you so much. Well, I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I can have conversation with you all now. So yes, three things that you found interesting today. Let's start with that. Any three things that you found interesting today? It was a
Ma'am, your
session.
daughter's idea of becoming a Statue of Liberty, that was very interesting.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anything else that was interesting? To start a conversation on career selection. Yes, thank you. One more thing that anyone found interesting? Okay, two things that you learned today. Any two things that you learned today? No learnings?
Ma'am,
Yes.
career conversation should be started at grade 11, grade 8, because after that, children become busy and they won't be able to concentrate, focus on what
Ma'am,
they want.
profile building should start in grade 7 is what I said. Career conversations, you can have it at any time, even as young as second or third grade. But profile building, I said, we should be having it at the age of, in the 7th grade itself.
Yeah, this we learned that is the right age.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
How to help children understand themselves. Okay. Thank you, Deepti, ma'am. Any questions that you have from today?
Yeah, I think indeed it was a very informative session.
Thank you, sir.
Career counseling is a very important factor which all of us need to concentrate upon. And I think you have given your best as to make the people understand the importance of it and the significance upon the child's career. So, how can I stop myself from applauding for you, ma'am? Like, it was really
Thank,
good.
thank
Thank
you
you for
very
a
much.
wonderful session, Nitya, ma'am. So, dearest participants, that's all for today. Let's meet in the